Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Hands-On Science with Miss Staggers. This week, we get to be engineers, and I am so excited about this week's project. We are going to be able to take an egg, just like this one, and drop it from the highest point safely available to you in your home, and drop it without it breaking. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to have to build something to protect it, to cushion it. So, the materials that you should have are popsicle sticks, rubber bands. You should also have a plastic egg to help you with your building so that you can practice and test it without breaking a real egg. And you will eventually need a real egg. Alright, are you ready to get started? Before we start building, we need to think about this process scientifically. What are some factors that we should consider before we build an actual contraption? Well, let's first think about this egg. This egg right now has full of potential energy as it sits here doing nothing. We know that if I were to drop it, it would have kinetic energy. And the force of all that energy brings it to the ground, and when it impacts with all that force, it splats. Kind of funny, isn't it? We don't want that to happen. We want to stop that from happening. So our purpose is to protect the egg. Now, what are some things that we need to consider? Maybe we should consider gravity. Now we know that gravity will pull equally on this egg as it would a bowling ball, meaning that the bowling ball and the plastic egg would move at the same speed. The only things that would change that would be aerodynamics and air resistance. Why do we need to know these things? Why should we consider these things? Well, if you remember, air resistance creates drag and it slows things down. Aerodynamics, however, speeds things up. It reduces the drag. In this case, we definitely want to slow down our egg, creating more drag. So we want air resistance. So when you're building your model, think about how you can have more air resistance so that the air will push back on your model, keeping the egg from going down quite so quickly. But why do we want to slow it down? Let's think about this for a second. Do you remember Newton's second law of motion? Force equals mass times acceleration. So that means low acceleration means low force. So if we slow our eggs down, there will be less force as they impact the ground. It's definitely something we want to think about, because the slower the force means the more likely your egg is going to survive. Since we're talking about force, and that makes me think of mass, the heavier the object, the more massive an object means that the more force it will have, correct? So the more force that we have, obviously the more likely our egg is going to break. So when you're thinking about building your model, building a huge castle to protect your egg may not be ideal because it's going to be heavier, and that means more force as it impacts the ground. Keep that in mind. Now, I've got a couple of models I want to show you. And when you go to build your egg protector, you're going to use your popsicle sticks, and you're going to maybe start with a platform simple like this. So this is a really simple platform. You could build it triangular. You could make it an octagon with your egg in the middle. But this platform, it doesn't have a whole lot of give to it. It doesn't have a lot of give. What out of our materials has the most elasticity, the most cushion? Probably the rubber band. So see all the rubber bands I have here could help cushion my egg from when it hits the ground. But there's another way we could do it that could cushion it even more. If you were to say take the same platform and use all these rubber bands, your eggs will be even more cushioned as it falls to the ground. Now you can still take the same design and you can build it with walls. You can build it with a roof so that the egg can't fly out the top. You can build it where the egg can't move. You would definitely need to think of some way to attach the egg to the platform. So that's your most basic structure, is a platform. Now, another good idea besides a platform is possibly taking your rubber bands and adding some legs to it. Rubber banding legs on it will help this absorb all of that impact and cushion your egg even further. So just some simple tips and ideas for helping you build your eggs, your egg protectors. Now, boys and girls, this is going to be a very fun, messy project. But something to remember is that this is science and that we don't always know all the answers. So you might have an amazing design in your head. You might take into account the force and the acceleration, and you might cushion it really great, and your egg still might break. That is okay. This is a process of learning. And you know what? It's going to be a lot of fun regardless, and I want you guys to give it your best, okay? Not everybody's egg is going to make it, but as long as we think like scientists and engineers, I believe that you're going to have a really great time. I look forward to seeing your videos and pictures in the comments below. As soon as you're ready, take your egg to the highest, safest point that you can get. Maybe get the tallest adult in your family to drop it on a hard surface. It will not work very good if you drop it on a whole bunch of pillows. So I hope you guys have a great time, and we'll see you next week.